price of bacon. Anyway, we're live. Good evening, folks. Thanks for coming in. We've not been live for about a week and a half, 2 weeks. We're pretty busy. But anyway, what better way to return to the camera than with this young man over here? Notice I say young, you know. We have joining us again, actor and martial arts. Start again. Fighter guy. John Ozuna's here. Martial arts expert. There I got it that time, didn't I?
I bring out the best in you, don't I? Bring out the best.
You do. You get me all flustered now. You get me on nervous because you're such a big.
Oh my goodness. Well, hey, it's wonderful to be on your show again. It's been a long time.
It's been I don't know, it's been nearly a year or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah. And I know that we try to reconnect and for whatever reason it just didn't quite work out. But I'm so happy to be back on your show.
Well, thank you. It's a big pleasure and a big honour for us. We know, I know it's been some time, you know. But you know, it's like John, especially yourself, because you're obviously busier than we are. But you know, you try and arrange dates, and then a day turns into a week turns into a month, and you know.
Yeah.
So there's Sarah in saying hello, even though she's just over there. But you know, say hello back.
Hello. Good to see you. Good to see you.
But it's actually it's an Elvis, you know, a song Elvis sang many a time. Funny how time slips away, you know. Just got to wee plug of Elvis in there. I had to do that.
You know, and it happens. But you know what? It brought us to today, which is great, and I love that. And you know, it's always great to reconnect because I had such a great time in your show last time that I couldn't wait to come back.
Oh, that means a lot, and I thank you very much. Was that the show that we weren't live, but we were live? Remember that one?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
I think we were live on YouTube, but we weren't live on Facebook. So I don't know what I did. I did a big boo-boo. It was Sarah that came up, you know.
Just the technology. That's okay.
If it's any consolation, John, you're not the one guy that did it. I did it with Shadow Paranormal as well. The exact same thing. Sarah came in and said, "You're not live." Says, "I am." No, you're no. You're no.
Yeah,
you know.
Well,
it happens.
Yeah, I mean, I love the paranormal world. I really do because you know yourself. You're passionate about what you do, how you reach out to people, reconnecting with people that have that common interest, and you know, and you're touching into a subject that people either believe or don't, or hey, good to see you, believe, don't, or just they're just kind of indifferent about it. But it's something that it's just like anything. It's something that exists, but it's not tangible. You know, it's hard to hold on to it and to see it right away, and but you can feel it, and that's the wonderful part about it too.
It is. But I'm going to come to the paranormal way because I know we've spoken about it in several shows, but we've never actually get round to doing it. You know, having a chat with the paranormal. But you've been a busy man of late, attending all these fancy do's and outings and champagne and stuff like that.
You know, it's just I've had a great opportunity this year to attend many formal events in Hollywood. So they'll have red carpet events that are either premieres to movies, special events. But one of the biggest ones I just came back from was the Oscars, and that was, hey, good to see you. That was phenomenal. I've attended many red carpet events, but that one takes the cake because that was enormously huge. The amount of photographers, paparazzi, the length of the red carpet was extraordinary. You know, and what I didn't know, this was an interesting part of it. You have the Oscars that takes place in Hollywood, at I believe the Dolby Theater. And then for some of the subcategories of the Oscars, they hold them at a different location. And that's where I was. And this was at the Hilton Hotel in Hollywood, really close to Universal Studios. And I actually wound up being a presenter. Never knew. I didn't know I was going to be a presenter, but they had asked if I would be, and I was honored to do so. And I presented a couple of awards, and it was just wonderful to be part of that energy. And there, believe me,
Mm.
there's just so much energy there, and people, beautiful people everywhere, and interesting people, and what was so cool about it was when the Oscar, because they were streaming the Oscars live. So we were watching the Oscars at the same time. Whenever they would cut to commercial break, that's when we would do our presentations. So we were just kind of going back and forth and back and forth. So it was a good experience. It was a great experience.
I was just going to stick. I'm sitting right next to the kitchen, and our cats are kind of boisterous, and they're always trying to get me some kind of food or whatever. And I just heard a wee noise. Sorry about that. I just heard the noise. I'm going to say hello to Kate's dad, David, who's watching. Thank you for watching, young man, and I hope you'll watch us again. And so always, you watch these things, the Oscars, whatever it is, you say, right, we're going to go to a commercial break. When they go to the commercial, I hate adverts, by the way. They're the bane of my life, adverts, especially during a good film. But when they go to the adverts, you always imagine, the stars and all going in the back for a cigarette or a quick beer or something like that,
Exactly. Yeah. And they're normal people. I mean, everybody's just a regular person. I think nobody should ever lose fact of that. And because just the fact that we understand that we're all the same, everybody, we're the same, but we're also very unique, and we should celebrate the unique characteristics of ourselves. But we're people, and everybody routinely. I mean, we need to get a sip of water or take a bathroom break or whatever. We're people, so we got to do what we need to do.
No, you're totally right, John. You got the big Hollywood stars, etc. Just not just film stars, but singers, whatever it is. But at the end of the day, they might be big in their particular field, but as you say, at the end of the day, they're still people. They go to the bathroom, they eat, they sleep, they smoke, they drink. The same as everybody else,
Yeah.
And it's weird you say that because we were talking about images just before we came on live there, and try to keep up this image. But I think it's better, I like people like Adam Sandler. I like you as well, John. Don't get me wrong, I do like you. I mean, I'll be on your show otherwise, but as you get people like Adam Sandler, I mean, he's a mega star, he's worth millions, done X amount of films. But when you see him out and about, he's just shorts and trainers on, and he always stops, does autographs, gets pictures. Like Keanu Reeves as well.
Yeah.
He's famous for it, and it just shows their human side, and they don't let the Hollywood fame go to their head. Don't get me wrong, there are some people there that do let it go to their head, probably, but
to me, it's always been kind of I love acting. I love the creative process. I love the preparation to go from receiving the script and the allotted time that we have to prepare, to immerse ourselves into our role, physically prepare myself for the fight scenes that might occur in the movie, and then showing up on day of filming ready to go and ready to hit it. I love that process. Very coincidentally, what makes me uncomfortable and maybe a little nervous are the things that I've been doing lately, are the red carpet events, and the personal appearances, because inherently I'm shy and I'm a little bit bashful. So it takes so much for me to kind of get myself moving to go, okay, here I go. I'm going to go into the public's view, knowing that they expect a certain something. And I love the interaction. I love the interaction between people because I end up trying to learn more about them. What are your interests? What brought you here? What do you like to do? What is your passion? And so I try to learn more about them, and they'll ask me whatever questions. But for me, I love the creative process. And to your point, I Adam Sandler, certainly Keanu Reeves, which I learned, firsthand. When I was working with him, he was extremely cordial to everybody. And anybody that wanted, a selfie or a quick picture or a quick autograph, no problem at all. But just the opposite of that, I have worked with I've been in events where I'm alongside other known actors, and we're both there for the same reason, and we're pretty close by, and I will go up and say, hey, can we grab a quick selfie before we go back to our respective places that we need to be to? And they'll go, no, you see, if I take a picture with you, that means I got to take a picture with everybody. So I'm sorry, can't do that. And they're standoffish. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, I'm not a fan of yours. I'm just we're here doing the same thing. Let's just
I've just got a photograph here. You get stuck up, basically, that I totally get what you mean. Just before we come back to that, I've got two questions. Kate's on fire tonight. So 2 questions for you so far. Here we go. When's your new movie coming out?
Okay, so the movie The Bouncer, and The Bouncer takes place in Bucharest, Romania, that's where we filmed. Had a great time over there. It's gone through a kind of an overhaul because we had some technical issues with the film in regards to audio. So we literally had to remaster it and do I had to repeat all of my dialogue again that we did in the film. So that took a little bit longer than we had anticipated. Right now, it's going through its distribution process, and it should be out this year. Because I know right now it's being sold in Europe. It's being sold South America, the different Americas. I know they're dealing with possibly Japan. So I know they're in the process of going through a distribution process. They're going to do a lot of VODs, video on demands, the streaming services, and they're negotiating the airlines as well. So that when we go to take a plane trip, you can watch it on a plane. But it's getting closer and closer. Within the next, hopefully, few months, we'll release the actual trailer to it. So people can actually see the trailer to the movie, which is really, really cool. So I'm excited about it. I'm excited for it's finally still coming out. It's taken much longer than we wanted to, but it's inevitably it's going to be coming out. So this year seems to be the release time.
Hopefully, fingers
crossed. Exactly. Hopefully nothing else comes up. But it looks like everything's working out well.
Everything's on course for it. I like this question because this is something I've often wondered as well. You see the stars I was watching a TikToker, Jeff Goldblum, recently. He was arriving at some ceremony, and this woman pulled him aside for an interview, and she was saying, I love your outfit, the colours and all the rest of it. And I've often wondered, do you just pick what you want to wear, or is there somebody says, right, tonight you're going to the Oscars in Hollywood, we want you to wear tuxedo or a red suit or whatever?
It's funny that you mentioned that because, there's a lot of considerations. So when I receive an invitation, what they'll do is they'll say, okay, it's going to be a formal event, and they'll make a suggestion. They'll say, for this event, be more colorful in your suit. So maybe pick colors versus black, but they'll suggest something, and then we just take it from there.
So the actresses don't kind of nip out to Walmart or something like that and pick up a quick dress,
I get all my clothes in. Sure. When they ask you who are you wearing, you just say Walmart.
Walmart, as well. Over here is Asda. Asda's the UK branch of Walmart, you know. So it's the same. It's the same company. So different names.
That's
So I've got a night out, and I've got a night out Friday. We could jump to Walmart for a wee frock or something like that, you know.
Believe me, because I've been in situations where, let's say I thought I had packed everything, and then I'm missing a tie or I'm missing an article of clothing. I go, whoa, I don't have everything. So I'll run out to the nearest Walmart and just grab whatever is, available and just take it with me.
Target. I take it that's an American store. Target,
yes.
right.
Target's an American store. Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
Right.
That's a little upscale for me.
We've got Primark here, you know, it's got that discount clothing store. I love it. I got all my stuff, well, most of my stuff in Primark. But I want to get back to what you were saying, you know, about the whole production kind of thing and putting bits together and, finally getting to filming and what have you. I kind of know what you mean. You know, I'm kind of plugging it here for a second, but because we just recently released the first episode of our Wallace Trail that we've been planning for over a year. Mm-hmm. So we're Society of William Wallace and David Espinosa, Craig Arns, they're helping us with it as well. And it's when I know what you mean about how you put it together and then you're going to try and film it and sort of kind of try to stick it all together. And we found that, it's nothing like the scale you do. You know, our first episode was, I think it was 11 minutes long. Mm-hmm. But even that, it took ages to put it together. See when you're filming scenes, do people ever get in the road, get in the way? There's a reason why I'm asking, and I'll tell you after the answer.
Do you mean like the regular public, like regular people just? Oh, absolutely, 100%. So, there's, depending on the film, if you have a very low budget film, which I've been back and forth from $multi-million film to low budget film, which is and this sounds kind of weird, but a low budget film here in the States would be like $10 million. I mean, that's a lot of money, but that's low budget. And independent low budget films are maybe $150,000, roughly US. But regardless, it's you have public that's a part of it. You do what's called guerrilla shooting, where you go out there without a permit, you go with a camera, you film the scene, and you just belt out of there because you're not supposed to be there. You just take off, and then people are kind of a part of it. So if it shows too much of their face, what we'll do is we'll approach them and ask their permission if we can use their image. But other than that, yeah, it does happen. It does happen. So what was your experience with that?
We were there's a couple of locations in Stirling. They were filming up at the Wallace Monument. Mm-hmm. And so we're filming Gordon to the Society, who was doing the narrative kind of thing. But it was the start of tourist season, and there was loads of people about, so you couldn't help getting them, and the shots you had to redo it and do it and do it. And then there was one particular we were filming, and it was going great. And there was a guy sitting on a bench behind us, and he was all quiet, behaving. But then his friend came out. His friend had been inside the monument. And he came out, and they just started talking. I mean, talking as loud as you could.
Wow.
And I was like, and then I was trying to film with so we had to kind of tweak it and use drone footage for the monument because it was impossible.
Oh, that's
there was
too
bad. Many people about.
That's too bad. One of the things that's amazing now because of the technology that we have. Anybody can make a film. Anybody that has a desire to. I mean, if you have a phone, you can make a movie.
That's what we filmed on. Because David asked, what cameras can he use? And he says, Sarah's got an S24 or something.
S24 Ultra.
S24 Ultra.
Yeah.
And we filmed the entire thing on that. And, I really think it turned out. I need to send you, that's 2 links I need to send you. So I'll send you the link for that as well.
Please do. Yeah, please do. I'd love to see that. But yeah, I mean, it's you know, I think anybody that has a desire to do it should just do it, and what the wonderful thing about the current technology is that, through social media and our phone technology, we can make a movie, or we can produce content, and then we can share it with the world after that, and
Mm-hmm.
they could choose to like it or not. They could choose to participate or not. But a lot of people have been very, very successful at that. And it's as long as you have creativity and you have an imagination, I mean, the sky's the limit. You can just go for it, and you shouldn't ever stop yourself from doing that. You should just do it.
But that's exactly what we've done. See, we've been trying to get it off the ground for last year, but it was either weather or other commitments through the society or whatever that stopped
Yeah.
us getting together. But we finally got together and we did it. We weren't sure, we spoke at length with David, Craig, and the society before it. We weren't sure how, if it would even people would even watch it. But
Yeah.
we're all passionate. Everybody involved in it is quite passionate about it. We thought, we're going to do it anyway, and we'll just see what happens.
Yeah.
And we really enjoyed doing it. And we're starting episode 2, filming episode 2 then 26th this month, because we're planning on keeping it going. But it was just kind of frustrating. There was when we filmed at Stirling Bridge, and Sarah was filming, and there was a wee woman, God bless her, I don't know who she was, just a member of the public. It was going great, and then this wee woman in a pink jacket walked into the, I'm going to sound all Hollywood here now, walked into the shot, and Sarah hated her. Every time we watched it back, Sarah just wanted to, and
Exactly.
that was
you can politely say, hey, we're filming something here, and can we have you move off to the side just for a moment, or can we keep it down? There's ways that we've done it in the past, and they're kind of cool about it. Oh yeah, just let me know where you want me to stand, or so. But yeah, a lot of the stuff is just completely unexpected, and sometimes it adds to the entertainment value of whatever you're doing.
Adds to the frustration. I did a wee quick walkover. David had recommended we do a walkover at Stirling Bridge, so I took the phone and I started walking across, and I was about 3/4 of the way across. I thought, this is going good, and then there was a guy sitting on a bike, a push a bicycle on the bridge, and he decided to move off, and at the same time he decided to blast his music. So
Wow.
I caught that, and I was like, I wanted to throw him in the river. I was like,
just toss him over.
I'm 3/4 of the way across this bridge. It was going well, and you start up with your tunes, and you know what I mean? Episode 1 of the ways got. Well, thank you very much, Kate. It was great. Looking forward to it. Thank you very much, Nicola. And there's Mr. Liam from Highland Paranormal. Give him a wee look out. But no, we enjoyed putting it together. And to say, we weren't sure if it was going to work or not, but it turned out, quite well. So you and I are in the kind of similar, same line of kind of work,
Yeah, exactly.
Would you mind if I join in 10 minutes? Got number one fan of John's, totally won't be offended if you'd like him out. No, Kate, you can join us if you want, though. It's fine, totally fine. We're going to start chatting about the paranormal because I'm fed up talking about film and movie stuff.
Just like,
I've had movie stuff up to here. I'm telling you, I'm sick here.
I'm out of here. You don't want me anymore.
No, you can talk. I know you're interested in the paranormal, so you can talk about that, But no, I know it's a lot of fun.
But offline, we were talking about somebody, and somebody that you're very passionate about, and a lot of people are, and in some ways, it's relative because it's entertainment, but it's also kind of paranormal too. And we're talking about Elvis Presley and how dynamic of a person he was. And he just had everything. He was an extremely handsome guy, very, very talented. had this aura about him that it was undeniable, and we call it the it. He's got the it, and we had talked about no matter how much you prepare or train, and some people, you either have it or you don't, and just can't develop those rare aspects of it. But we talked about Elvis Presley, Michael Jackson, Prince, Bruce Lee, that they were so impactful in so many people's lives, but their life was cut very, very short. But their legend continues on. And anybody that's in the paranormal world, that's significant, because there's that want to see if we can communicate in one way or the other for those people that were so impactful in so many people's lives, but our own personal lives. Because we had talked about them, and Elvis Presley, and for me Bruce Lee, and we imprint ourselves in our heroes. We see ourselves in as them, and we want to be that way. And but in all those cases, the lives were so short. We put so much energy, so much of the energy was used in the present life that it was extinguished early. And now they're in the afterlife, and so that's where there's a interesting link between those two.
It's when you get people that really grind my gears. There's one, I'm not going to name them, but some people might know who I'm talking about. It's when he claims to communicate with all these big stars, royalty, etc. And Elvis being one of them, Michael Jackson as well being another one. Queen Elizabeth, Lisa Marie, after Lisa Marie passed, I think it was 2 days, maybe 3 days, and he was talking to Lisa Marie as well. I think the latest one was Matthew Perry. That
oh wow!
I've not looked at this guy's channel for a wee while, but Queen Elizabeth, when she passed away, he claimed that he had her there over in Ohio, or wherever the hell he stayed. I don't know. It says in America anyway, but that's where Queen Elizabeth went. She went to America after she passed away. Rather than go and see her husband and stuff, she went to America to this guy's house.
And I don't blame you, because I think in any industry, you have those that want to exploit. They want to take advantage of people's wanting to connect with others, and whether it be family members or famous people or whatever. And it sounds like you're saying, it sounds weird for the Queen to be in wherever, Ohio, which is kind of a weird concept.
I mean, no doubt, God rest, she always wanted to visit Ohio, maybe, and this was her chance,
Yeah.
But this guy, he just makes a total mockery of, not just of the paranormal, but of these people, Elvis, Jackson, whoever it is. He's just made a total mockery of these people. There's no 1 ounce of respect in anything he does. And if people try and call him out, then he threatens to get his lawyers onto them. I'm going to, and I was going to call him out, because I thought, if he threatens to get his lawyers onto me, good luck, buddy, because I'm in Scotland and you're on the other side of the planet, so fire in. You go for it. See how you go like.
Exactly right.
Hiya, Petra. Do you remember Petricelli? Do you remember the film?
100%, yeah.
Hiya, Petricelli. You better chance with him than you have of getting me. Do you know what I mean? But that's what gets me. These people out there that just, have contacted Elvis and he's doing fine, and Lisa's met up with him and they're sitting there singing away and stuff like that. Leave them be. I dare say they are still, they are still kicking about in spirit. Let them rest. If we're destined to meet one day, then we will.
That's a good point. I like what you're saying. That's a good point. Because I mean they were just smothered, the attention and affection of everybody, to a point where they suffocate, and
Mm-hmm.
let them have their peace. That's
I,
I love that.
to me, they've earned their rest,
Yeah.
basically,
Hmm.
and let them rest. Still, I say, I love you always. I've loved you always. What have you? And but I wouldn't go try and investigate them and what have you. It's one of these things. But so, I mean, the paranormal, John. I'm going to ask you because I've asked millions of other people. What got you kind of into the paranormal side of it? Just what kind of clicked your interest in it?
I just, regarding the paranormal, I think every person at some point in their life, has experienced something that they can't explain, whether it be presence, whether it be a shadow, whether it be a voice, or something, and we will investigate it, and we can't explain which has happened. I think people lose sight that, as human beings, we are human animals, and capable of an extrasensory instinct,
Mm-hmm.
um, just like any other animal would have. Because if we listen to our fur friends and our fur family members, our cats and our dogs and stuff, they sense something, a presence that we can't see, and their behavior reflects that. And I think it's important that for us, we have that same ability. It's overshadowed by day-to-day life stuff, just day-to-day
Mm-hmm.
stuff. I got to do this, I got to, I got to take my, it's just day-to-day stuff. It's just overshadowed by that. But I think if we take the time to really listen, we'll be more observant of that. And in terms of, you know I think sometimes, oh my goodness,
Hi.
Evening, dear.
my
John.
goodness,
It's so good to see you.
great to see you, my
Great to
goodness.
see you.
Giving you a big tight hug.
Oh, thank you. Oh, I've gone all red now. Thank you.
Not again.
I know, again.
Is,
Oh
is
dear.
that
Yeah.
is that all the mushy stuff done? You done?
Yeah. Yeah, we're done now. We're all good.
Right.
Sorry.
Right.
Continue.
Mush, kiss, kiss. Right. Yep. Go on.
Yeah, but yeah, before Kate rudely interrupted me.
I know. How dare you?
I did. It was a really bad timing. Sorry.
Extremely rude.
Mid sentence as well.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where I've had those experiences throughout my life. As a child, I really did. As you begin to become an adult, you tend to be a little bit more, for lack of a better way of expressing it, a little bit more practical and logical, and business minded sometimes, and we lose sight of all the wonderful natural aspects of who we are. And
Mm-hmm.
and I think, one of the times when we were in the last show, I think I mentioned, on set of a movie that I did, it's called Demon Fighter. I think we stirred up a lot of what was going on. And just because of the subject alone, I played a priest that performed exorcisms, for a family that was possessed by demons. And so just the subject matter alone, you could tell that we were stirring something up that we didn't intend to, because there were things on set that we couldn't explain. So
Mm-hmm.
it's very unusual. I think if we, as people, know everything there is to know about this life or the afterlife, we're kidding ourselves. We really are, because we don't know everything. And I think it's just important to listen. And
It's,
if we take the time to listen, we'll know that there's just more to life, period. whether it be here, afterlife, or wherever. And people have to follow their faith and their belief systems, and that brings comfort, and that brings it rationalizes how they might feel. But yeah, Kate, don't interrupt me anymore. I'm just kidding with you. It's so good to see you. It's so great to see you.
So good to see you too.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
What's new? Talk to us.
I'm good. Honestly, you've been far busy than most of us. Like, you've been on red carpet events. You've got your new movie coming out. Like, I'm so excited to see this film. Honestly,
thank you so much.
Can't wait for the trailer.
Yeah, exactly. I can't wait to. I think maybe possibly in a future show, I can send that trailer to Scott so that he can play it.
That would be so good. And we can get like some behind the scenes.
Yeah, and
it'll cost you
a little blip right there, so people can kind of see that before we publicly show it.
Now remember one thing, I'm Scottish, so we do nothing for free. It's great that you can join us, Kate. But I just want to get back to what John was saying. That you hit the nail on the head about 3 or 4 times there, John. One was when you said that, and I've said this in many a show, that we don't expect people to believe the paranormal. Everyone's got their own choice, believe, don't believe, it's up to them. But at least everybody's had at least one thing happen in their life that, as you said, that they cannot explain. Whether it be a sound, they've seen something at the corner of their eye, whatever it is. And I've said that in many shows, so you're spot on there. We're not saying it is paranormal, but who's to say it's not, and we are kind of that, as you say, animals, and children as well are more open to picking up things because they're not being influenced by society, as you say. And I think once you start investigating the paranormal, once you start going out, doing investigations, studying it, that barrier starts to come down.
Yeah.
The barrier that's been built up through your youth, whatever, that barrier starts to come back down again. And that's when you're more likely to hear things or feel. I've felt things, doing investigations. I've felt that there's somebody standing right behind me. Mm-hmm. You turn around expecting to see somebody, there's nobody there. But I've got there's somebody standing there. It's stuff like that. But I think as you open yourself up more to spirit, to paranormal, that barrier starts to come down. The more you do it.
I think also it's the constant battle between religion and science, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Because science has developed so much, and now it's kind of pushing, lots of people are not even religious anymore, are they? They have some kind of beliefs, but they don't really have like that strength of religion that they used to have, pros and cons, all of that stuff. And I really feel like science is doing so much recently, since the whole thing came out about OAPs, unidentified flying things in the sky, and aliens and stuff. So they're now working on what is consciousness and studying the brain. And this is really exciting because we might actually finally get answers to what actually happens to the body after you die, but more importantly, the brain. And is there more to it, to consciousness? What actually is it? Are dreams related? So we're actually in a really exciting time to be experimenting with the paranormal because there's so much opening up at the moment. So really exciting stuff. I look forward to it. But do you think then, John, from what you were saying, you are born with this innate sixth sense, I guess, that's been kind of passed down to you, but you grow out of it the same as children might grow out of being artistic or, that kind of thing? Is that what you believe then? Like we all are born with it?
Yeah, I think absolutely 100%. I think again, I respect everybody's ideology their
Totally.
faith, their belief systems. I respect it all because, you know, if it's real to them, and that's what makes it real.
And
But
it's so deep, like
it is very much so.
it goes way, 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 way back before we knew anything about science, you know, and
Yes,
it's incredible.
absolutely. And I think a lot of it is trying to rationalize and explain what we're seeing, what we're experiencing, what we're feeling, and to have an explanation to what that all means.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, if we feel that we're so apart from the rest of the animal world, uh, you know, and that we're so superior to them, then why can't we run as fast as they can? Why can't we jump as high as they can? Why can't we hear as well as they can? Why can't we see as well as they can if we are truly superior? You know, and we know that, you know, they have an inherent sense of fear and danger as we do. So we know that something is dangerous before it presents itself.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that is our most primal instinct of self-preservation as a human animal. And I actually teach this when I teach, let's say, self-defense. I teach, you know, how people can protect themselves. One of the things that I share is to trust in your primal instinct, to protect yourself. You know, that's self-preservation. We all have it. Every person, every person, regardless of knowing martial arts or self-defense, it doesn't matter, uh, will do something if ever in a life-threatening situation. We're going to do, whether it be run, shout, scream, fight back, claw, bite. You know, Scott will spit. I mean, just
Go away.
Everybody has their expertise.
Go away, you nasty man. Yeah. That's how you sort things out in Glasgow. That's how you sort a fight out. You know, forget knives and everything. Just go away, you nasty bugger. You're on the run.
Like a llama.
But you know, but yeah, I definitely believe that we do have, if we want to call it a sixth sense. I see it more as a primal instinct that we tend to kind of push and we suppress it. Whose angelic voice is that? Okay, who?
That's my daughter in the background. Sorry to freak anybody out. There's no ghosts.
She's so beautiful.
Thank you.
She's lovely. She's lovely.
Thank you so much. Yeah, she's 3 now. She's growing up.
Congratulations.
Making you feel old, Kate. Wait till she goes to school.
I know. Time flies.
I bet she should be crying. All mothers crying when their kids go to school on the first day. And they're like, my baby's away to school. Yeah. The fathers are like that. Bye. You know. they're in the car and away. School bags getting thrown out the window of it. See you at 3. Gone. In case they change their mind and the school send them back. Do you think that the people's attitude towards, you know, the paranormal and that changes as they get older, so that they fit in more to society? You know, I've said in a few shows that I found it surprising how many people are actually interested in the paranormal, but they don't openly come out and say it because in case other people think they're weird or they're nuts or, you know, whatever.
Scott, you're really stating something that's, you know, very apparent, because people in the paranormal world, in one area, they're not respected because people think that their belief is just crazy. It's just like, come on, guys, you know, you guys are chasing ghosts and this, that, and the other, and I'm sure there's a lot of ways that they'll express that, but all it means is that, you know, it's just, I think people, when you shut those doors, you miss out on all of life's interesting attributes, and I don't think we should miss out on those things. I think we listen. People love to dictate. They love to say, you know, you should this and this and this and this and this. This is yes and this is no. This is right. This is wrong. Follow the rules, you know, and they're very, you know, very you know, demanding about it. Yes, okay, that's all wonderful, but take a you know, time to listen. Take time to experience. Take time to feel that you're part of this natural world. And and this is just my opinion, the natural world is all inclusive. It's what happens here and what happens beyond here. It's all part of life, I think,
Mm-hmm.
and it's part of natural life. And
Mm.
I think we should be open to every aspect of it.
That's true. I have a question for you, John. So, do you think you have a heightened sense of awareness because of the martial arts that you do? Because I have heard you have to be quite spiritual as well to have that awareness, and just wondered if you have more of a sense of it.
You know, I appreciate your question. I really appreciate it because it touches into an aspect of what I do that I am also very passionate about. And you know, martial arts is divided into three aspects. It's mind, body, and spirit. So you can't have one without the other. So you can train your body physically to be strong and to be effective if you're ever attacked. But if you don't have your mind and your spirit along with that, it's not going to go in the right direction. So the concepts of yin and yang, hard and soft. You know, if we choose only one aspect of that, then we'll always just be half right. If we choose another aspect of that, we'll always just be half right. We have to find some way to find a balance between the two. And for me, in terms of the practicality, the actual what happens if somebody's going to attack you, you have to be in tune to the environment, to your senses, and being able to inherently tune into the vibrations, so to speak, of a heightened aggression, you know, or heightened danger, because we will sense danger before it becomes apparent to us. Something doesn't feel right. You know, somebody's following me. I can't see them, but I know somebody's following me. You know, when we're walking our pet, they will sense danger before we do, but then we feel it. You know, we go, whoa, wait a minute. Yeah, something doesn't feel right. You know, it's time to head out. Um, so over my goodness, I've been involved with martial arts for 43 years of my life. So that's a long time to commit yourself to one subject. And
Mm-hmm.
you explore it to its infinite levels. And the study of martial arts is basically the study of life and ourselves in it, and its environment. And so, you know, I'll teach the aggressiveness of, you know, this is what you do if somebody attacks you. But I also teach, you know, I teach Tai Chi, which is the spiritual aspect of martial arts.
Oh,
So,
that's amazing.
you know,
I
it's the
love Tai Chi.
flow, you know, and it's, you know, and it's how you are involved in that aspect as well. Because like I said, you can't have one without the other. And in other words, you know, we do something every single day of our lives from the moment we are born to our last moment of our lives. We breathe, and we do it unconsciously, and we do it consistently and always. But let's say, for example, I say, you know what? I don't ever believe, I don't exhale. I just inhale. Well, then we'll explode. Eventually, we just blow up like a balloon. We just explode. But, you know, that's nature. There's inhaling and there's exhaling. There's yin, there's yang. There's white, there's black, there's, there's this, there's that, and everything in between. We whether we believe in this or that, sometimes we have to just go where nature takes us, and do what would be natural to do. And I appreciate the question. Yes. So in the process too, I know this is kind of a long answer, and I apologize for that.
No, it's great. Thank you. It's so interesting, honestly.
It should have been this way. Yes. That should have been my
Sure.
Yeah.
So interesting. Thank you.
Just when Kate was talking about the sciencey sort of side of the paranormal and what have you. Do you think there's too much science being put into the paranormal these? I'm talking about investigating. I'm not talking about stuff. The investigation side, spirit, ghost hunting, whatever you want to call it. Do you think there's too much science being put into it these days? Oh, she's off. She's off. She said the wrong thing. She's away.
I'm out of here.
Right, I'm going.
She didn't like the question. She goes, "I'm out of here. I'm out of here."
She's back.
I see.
Her hair's half her head's back. Half her hair's back.
I see shadows. She's like, I think we're experiencing a paranormal experience right now.
Could be. She's there, but you get the feeling she's there, but she's not. That's
good job.
I think I get that kind of mixed up.
That's why I like to hang out with you. That's good.
Because I'm full of wisdom and knowledge and teaching.
Exactly right. Yeah.
And I'm hell of a good looking as well. Go on, you can see it.
That's the icing on the cake. That's it right there. So
I know that's the icing on the cake there, but not what I mean, John, is I've said this quite, and this kind of relates to us. It's going to sound, I keep it a basic team. We go, you get these teams who go out there and they've got every gadget under the sun. No offense to them, they're into gadgets, and they'll spend thousands of pounds or thousands of dollars, whatever, on all the latest tech and all the rest of it, and they go investigating. Whereas we go with the bare minimum, with K2 meter, EMF meter, golf balls, stuff like that. We've got a doll as well. Because we're the kind of frame of mind that spirit, they don't care, what kind of equipment you've got with you. They don't care if you've got a £500 camera or a 30 pence ping pong ball.
Sorry about leaving. I was just averting a disaster, but it's all fine.
That was rather rude.
I know it was truly. I did write in the chat, Scott, but you obviously didn't see. I was just like, "Be right back."
No, I did say I was just ignoring it.
We almost had ice cream all over everywhere, but it's all fine. It's all gone.
That's what kids do. Very rarely will a full tub of ice cream make it into a child's mouth.
It's called art. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Clean that up, Mum. That's what you're here for.
Art with white walls is,
it's art.
Yeah.
I tell you, we're in a new house. We moved in last August. It's a brand new house, new build.
Congratulations.
Thank you, young man. It's what? It's quite nice, isn't it? Like it?
It looks like a cave.
I did a show with Rigger and Charlie a couple of months ago, and the backdrop fell down. I had no control over it. I just went, and I says to Rigger, that backdrop just fell, didn't it? Because I could see it in the camera, and you saw there was a dining table and all the rest of it behind you.
I did see that.
Well, it could have been worse. Could have been other stuff behind there.
You're right.
Yeah. Well, that did happen in our old house. The studio was a kind of storage room sort of thing, and the backdrop fell, and it was just a pile of crap, basically. All that stuff. I'll put that away later on, sort of thing. But no, I say we're in a new build, so we've got white walls, and we're not allowed to decorate or paint for a year. So we'll be coming up to August. So you're kind of paranoid about the white walls, in case. So I know exactly what Kate means, but we're off track there, thanks to Kate.
Yeah.
With white walls and posh houses.
You're saying...
Before Kate so rudely got up and left.
Again. Oh, sorry, I interrupted you.
Just Scott, I would never do that to you, Scott. Just
I know, because you are glued. From start to finish of this show, you are glued to this screen, Sunshine.
but Scott had a really good question for Kate, and I don't know, Scott, if you want
I'm not repeating it because you left, you missed it. Sorry, Ray. Watch it back, then answer it.
This
Watch the show.
Changing.
Watch the show back, then put a comment in. How's that? No, the question was, see if you move this time, Kate, you're blown. You're
I'm
done.
not. I'm like, ice cream is gone. Let's go.
Good.
let's do this.
Aye. Do not move. You know. Do you think there's too much science being put into the paranormal side of things, investigations, etc. these days? Like people are relying on too much tech when they go investigate.
I think it's a good question. I don't know if there's too much science and tech. I think all of that is really good and should be embraced into paranormal investigations. However, it's always good to remain skeptical and logical, as well as looking at being open-minded. So I don't know, like I like to know both sides and then make my own conclusions, if that makes sense. But it's still good to have, like John was saying about yin and yang, there needs to be balance in life, and having the balance of both sides, believing, non-believing, science, belief, all of that needs to come, and you meet in the middle, I guess, if that answers your question.
Sort of, kind of, I think. I'm not a sciencey person. But what I mean is, say you're out investigating, and there's two teams, right, and you're side by side. One team's got thousands of dollars worth of gear on them. Another team's got a compass and a ping pong ball.
Oh, I'd love to see what they both would catch in that situation, and then you can kind of get a bigger picture then about what seems to work, what doesn't. Make deductions from that. I think that's a great idea, definitely, to get everyone involved.
My thinking is, the way I look at investigating is, if you get these two scenarios, two teams, etc., and you've got a gentleman there, say, for the 15th, 16th century, who's standing there, who's the most liable, who's the most likely to try and communicate with? The ones with all the gear and the lights and everything, or the wee guy standing there with a ball and a compass?
I think that depends, though, because we don't even know if they can see us in that. Because a lot of times people have said it feels like interdimensional, another dimension. So they probably will only be able to hear us, not see us. So even trying to get your voice into towards them so that they can hear you is very, very difficult. So I don't know, because we just don't know. We don't know how it is to be a ghost and communicate.
That's a really good point, Kate, because in terms of sciences, because you can consider that science either will prove or disprove, but or provide an alternative explanation, because I know physicists do talk about multi-dimensional universes, so that's not just a science fiction concept,
but exists.
It does exist, and so who are we to say that those who have passed, let's say, that we are not the ghosts of their present life, that they
absolutely
might hear something or might see something, but it's us. So there's so many ways of looking at it and possibly explaining it, because the true devout physicists will have, and I would almost say, like, in an alternate explanation of what others might believe otherwise.
I'm glad you said that, John. I've got a question for Liam for you, but I'll stick on 2 seconds, Liam. I'm glad you said that, John. you as well, Kate. Always, there's a location we go to. I don't want to leave Kate out in case she disappears again. You know what I mean?
I'm never going to live that down, am I?
Filippo's put Kate is logical. I would say Kate is evasive, as in, but
Thank you, Filippo. That's really kind.
I'll stick you.
Kate is amazing. She really is.
She's lovely. She's a lovely lassie. Lovely lassie.
I think you are amazing. You really are.
Thank you so much.
The way you clean up ice cream is better than I've ever seen before.
He's done with the mushy stuff again.
Yeah, I think it's important to be logical though, because
you need to take a step back and look at everything. You know, there are people there say that's paranormal. That's paranormal.
Yeah.
I heard a noise. That's paranormal. You can't do that. You need to take a step back and say, right, I heard it. What could it be? You know, is there anything about that can make that noise?
Because this is a really, really big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to prove that there is life after death. This is huge. So of course you need to be logical and not jump to conclusions. Or of course I love it, getting excited about things and saying, oh, could this really be? Are they really saying this? Is it coming from them? Is this happening? Of course, but there is just so much that happens naturally. So I'm not a fan of noises because I really believe that is all just in our world. It's just in the moment that happens. Like a lot of investigators go in to an abandoned building and they're like, oh, can you hear running on the stairs? And I'm like, it's rats. I'm pretty sure it's just rats or something like that. Like, I'm very happy for anybody to kind of prove me wrong about that. I need to see that for myself, don't I? Because I need to look at the building. I need to see where the rats are, where the mice are, like all of the environmental factors of that. So I just want to say, like, I'm not a fan of noises and bangs and things because houses do that. Nature does that. So I've yet to find something like that I would say, oh my gosh, it's paranormal, because I've never heard anything paranormal in that respect.
We've had 2 occasions where we've heard a noise and we could not explain it. It was outside. There was in the house. It was outside. There was nothing around that could make these 2 noises. One was a metal clank, basically. There was nothing. Craig and I were together. We went hunting, and it was a Loudon-Kirk, and there was not a thing that could have made that noise. We also did another one at a place called Stair, where it was a metal on metal, and there was about 6 or 7 of these there, and everybody heard this, and there was nothing about. The noise was right next to us. It was as if it was 2 or 3 feet away, but we were in the middle of Kirkyard, and everybody heard this noise, and there was nothing near us. But what I was going to say about the ghost thing was we did an investigation, one of the investigations at Loudon-Kirk, a place we've been going to for about 2 or 3 years. We picked up on Laura's phone on our voice recorder a full sentence saying, "Are yous ghosts?" Now, it wasn't through an epiphonic or anything. It was an actual voice, somebody asking, "Are yous ghosts?" So that kind of threw us a wee bit because we've never been asked that in any investigation. And so we was discussing it with other people, and they were saying, well, maybe you were being investigated at the same time as you are investigating. That makes sense.
Like so the dimension.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting. That's really, really interesting. And I guess, Kate, the question I had for you, what about voices? What about responses?
Voices are hard. So on voice recorders and things like that, there's so much research that has gone into all the different types of voice recorders, if it's legit, all that kind of stuff. I have heard some really impressive ones, I have to say. So still I'm very open to voice recordings, but still quite skeptical.
Exactly.
However, it's hard to say voices live, because I don't know if you guys have ever had that, but you know when you're falling asleep and you hear voices in your head, like kind of like mid dreaming state, that kind of thing, because your brain is processing.
Mhm.
I hear my mum a lot, or my dad. Now they're still alive, thank goodness, touch wood. But it's just kind of your brain processing all of that, things that you've heard during the day, all that kind of stuff. So I'm just wondering, is it really ghosts, or is it just your brain processing things
You
and
know,
you're just hearing things?
you're really hitting something that leans towards the science as well, because now you're talking about the capability and the process of our own brain activity as well, and conscience, um, and that in itself is a whole other study within itself, and how that relates to even paranormal, or us maybe mistaking it as paranormal. One of the things, particularly Kate, because you're a historian, the subject of what happened, of the question, what happens when we die, has been a question that we've asked ourselves since the beginning of time. And we all have culture, we all have our ceremonies, and our beliefs about it. And even animals do. Even animals have rituals of how they honor the loved ones that pass. They even do that. We may not interpret as that, but they do have their own rituals on those things, and or at least acknowledge it. So since the beginning of history, in our own way, we've tried to explain what happens when we go, and can we communicate with those that have gone by. Are we able to? And with more current science, we either get closer to the answer, or it presents more questions.
One
Yeah,
question
very
presents a
true.
thousand questions. I'm going to stick these comments up, and then I'll come back to what you were saying about the voices, and I'll tell you a short story, very short. Do you think spirit could be scared or confused by modern tech? That's Liam from Highland.
As I said before, I don't even know if they can see us. So I don't think that would be an issue. I think the issue is just trying to get in that channel of communication, really, in whatever means, Actually, some of the best paranormal activity happens when you least expect it.
Mhm.
So that's kind of unexplainable as well, because why does it happen when you have no equipment?
That,
Yeah.
Kate, I mean, you're really hitting a really good point, because just like animals that we thought were extinct, we're not necessarily looking for those animals. We stumble upon those animals. We go, whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah.
This a species of animal is extinct, and or we thought it was extinct. So it's not when we're looking for it. Sometimes it presents itself.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, thank you, Filippo. That's very kind. Yeah.
I believe spirit can't see us. We again, I'm going to get back to Lloyd and Kirk, because we've had a lot of activity there, and we've had EVPs, not through the app, but through just a mobile phone voice recorder. They telling us that they know we were up at the house and stuff. What they mean by the house is there's a family interred in the Kirk. They used to live in cottages nearby. I put posts on the page up about it. We 2 years ago at Christmas time, Craig and I took a toy train and a wee angel doll down the Kirk, and we left it there. We went back in the January, and I said, "Can you tell me what gifts we left for the kids, at Christmas?" And we get back very, very clearly: toy, train, and doll. I sent the recordings away to different people, and they all came back with the same thing. So they're saying doll, toy, and train.
That's interesting. Can I say something? I don't want to sound like an a-hole, but are you listening for things that you want to hear? So if I heard that recording with a totally subjective mind, would I hear that? That's what I would like to try. So anytime you get a recording, Scott, you tell me, like, just secretly, maybe just tell me after I've heard it, and then we'll see if we get the same answers that way.
I know what you mean, Kate, and this is the reason why when I send stuff to people, I don't tell them what's on it. I just say,
that's good.
Listen to this and tell me what you think, or tell me what you hear. I never ever tell them, we think we heard, because I know what it's like. If I turn and say, right, I think I heard the word cigarette, then the chances are when they listen back to it, they're going to hear the word cigarette. So that's why we're always careful to say, look, listen to this and tell me what you think. We don't tell them whether it's a voice, it's just even a sound or listen. We just give it to them and say, what's your feedback?
I guess a question I had in regards to that. So if you do hear a voice, and obviously, we've heard different recordings that some were indistinguishable. It's just staticky, and maybe you might hear a little something, but others are a little bit more clear. But almost always it's English. And why?
Yeah.
Why is it just English? Why are we not hearing other languages surface?
Yeah, that's so true.
We wondered that as well. What we tend to get a lot is Scottish accents, and that's through the necrophonic and also through just off the mobile phone, the voice recording on the mobile phone. We get a lot of Scottish accents. Now, these apps, they're not designed to give you accents. They're loaded with X amount of words, but accents, no, and it's clear Scottish accents we get. Another example is I did a walk around this Kirkyard a couple of years ago, and I got 2 tugs on my left sleeve, quite distinctive tugs. Now, the last investigation we did with Rosie Cardy and that at the Kirk, I asked, can you tell me who it was that pulled on my sleeve? And it came back clear as a bell. It was me, Daddy. Now, the significance to that is every investigation we do, we've always felt there's a little girl with us, following us about. The whole team's felt it. I lost a daughter back in 1992. Her name was Donna. And we did another investigation, and I asked, can you tell me the toy I used to put in beside you when you went to bed? I'm not getting an answer back. And then I asked, can you tell me what colour it was then? Can you tell me the colour of the toy I used to put in your bed? And it came back, clear as a bell, green. There was 6 or 7 people heard it. Came back green. Twice I asked the question to different intervals, and it came back green. Now, my wee girl, she had a wee toy, right Rexy for Toy Story. Dinosaur. She had a wee one of them, and I always put it in her bed at night, and Rexy's green. I couldn't explain that. And then when we go that out loud and cut, it was me, Daddy, clear as a bell. That kind of knocks you on your ass a wee bit, but I would like anybody to explain that to me. I'm not disagreeing with you, Kate, or anybody else with their own beliefs, but it's when you hear things like that.
Yeah. First of all, I'm so sorry to hear that, Scott. So sorry.
Scott,
I know that you've told me about your daughter. I feel like, is that a separate thing though? Because I always feel like our ancestors, our family, flesh and blood, all of that stays with us. And is that something completely unrelated? That's what I've always wondered about, almost reincarnation as well. It's kind of because I see it as separate. I see investigating random spirits separate to our own family, our own souls, and reincarnation. I see that as different. Have you ever seen that differently, or have you just kind of put it all into the same box?
I've never investigated to try and pick up family or into that, but it's always been just in general we investigate. But we've always had the feeling that there's been a little girl.
Yeah, definitely.
Around us.
Because she's your little girl, 100%.
It's just, I don't know how many investigations we've done, I don't countless, but it's only these 2 investigations that she's decided to kind of make herself known.
Yeah.
Scott, I'm so sorry, Scott. That's a very I mean, to say the very least, it's a very life altering, uh, devastating, situation.
Oh, it does destroy you, but it gives you a wee bit of comfort,
Absolutely,
knowing that
100,
she's
100.
still about, and so it makes you wonder, because I believe that, when we pass, we have a choice, free will. We do have a choice. We can either stay here or we can move on, and I believe that some family members, maybe close friends, decide to stay to keep an eye on us,
Mhm.
whether it be your mother, father, grandma, whoever it is. And they decide, well, I'm going to hang about here because I want to look after Kate or I want to look after John. Make sure he's all. I'm not going to intervene. I'm not going to interfere, but I'm just going to be here in the background, kind of thing. And because I've asked this question, I want you guys' opinion on this question sometimes as well. Every in life at one point is that a problem or an issue that they can't see a way out of. It might be financial or personal, whatever. And at the very last minute, it seems to work out.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it may be, maybe it's a bill that you need to pay and you just don't have the money. But then all of a sudden, at the midnight hour, the 11th hour, whatever it is, sorry, a solution pops into your head. You think, well, I can do that, and that solves it. Who's to say that's no one of your relatives or somebody stepping in at the last minute because they know you've exhausted every avenue, right? I can lend a wee hand here, so this is what I'm going to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I understand exactly what you're saying, and I think every one of us has experienced a good fortune at a very trying time in our lives. And the way I look at it, Scott, is I look at it as those that have passed on and what they have bestowed on us in terms of a strong work ethic, a strong belief system, believing in oneself. So that's them being present, having passed, and just pushing forward, no matter how hard things are getting. Just keep on moving forward, and then eventually you break the water, and you can stick your head out and take a full breath of air before you feel like you're just drowning in whether it be debt or emotional trauma or whatever the situation is. You just feel, I think at certain points of our lives, we just bear the weight of what we would categorize as just issues or problems or responsibilities, whatever they are, but just they compile and you just feel the weight of it. And it just does, and you never catch a break. You always, like, when things are just thinking that, like, you're doing well, and all of a sudden they just fall right away, and something that was possibly hopeful just crashes, and you just never feel like you're really getting ahead. But you keep it going because you reflect on what your mom might have told you, what your dad might have told you, what a good friend might have told you.
It's
that
like
might
those moments of clarity, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And you made a promise to them that you made a promise to yourself that you would just not give up and keep it going. And then, boom, all of a sudden it happens, and you get that break, that chance. So in some ways, yeah, Scott, I think it is, the family members that might have passed, or friends, but I think it's that what they've instilled in us that also takes and takes us to that point.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer in inherent memory. So a lot of things where we feel like we have deja vu, I just feel like that's been passed on, and fears, phobias, all those kind of things have kind of come out and been passed on. I'm definitely a believer of that. And like you said, those moments of clarity that just help us to kind of understand. And I feel like we're also we are very sensitive. We do pick up a lot around us and our environment. I mean, there was one thing that happened in my life that I could say, oh, it was paranormal. But I think I was just picking up on it, and I didn't realize it was the last time I ever saw my grandmother. And I was saying goodbye to her, and something popped in my head. This is the last time you're ever going to see her. And I was like, why would I say that? What the hell? That's awful. And it was. That was the last time that I ever saw her. But I don't think that's paranormal. I'm just thinking we are very sensitive as human animals, like you said, John. And I just feel like we do pick up on a lot of things before they happen or have happened, but we just don't realize because we're not in tune to that sense.
That's what I love about the paranormal. You just don't know, you know. It's like,
No.
I've compared it to a tree before. You know, there's that many different branches, and as you say, Kate, you know, a lot of us are sensitive. I mean, when my first marriage, you know, years ago, before mobiles were invented, basically, that's how old I am, you know. But however, we just had the landlines. I had this knack that when the landline rang, our phone was on the wall, you know. So when the landline rang, I would say to my ex, you know, that's your mum, that's your sister. And
you
she would
just
pick it
know,
up,
don't you?
and she would say, how do you know that?
Yeah.
I said, I don't know. And then I used to make the joke, oh, it's your mother's ring. That's your mother's ring, it'll be her. It was the exact same ring for everybody, you know, but that's your sister on the phone. And she picked up, and it'd be your sister, you know, and I could never explain how I
it's
knew.
just that level of sensitivity to just your surroundings. Could have been routine that you didn't even realize, like your body just resonates with the routines and people that call and stuff. So you just don't know. We are a working wonder. We really are.
Yeah, absolutely. Have either one of you ever experienced in the dream state, you know, while we're asleep, visiting some of our relatives that might have passed, or even friends that might have passed?
Oh yeah.
And visiting, literally, but having it so absolutely
so vivid,
real, real, and you can feel their embrace, and you can feel, and you're expressing to them what you might not have expressed when they were alive, of how much you miss them and how much they meant to you, and thanking them for everything they've provided for you. And you know, that is such a gift, and I've experienced it several times, you know, and it's so bittersweet because it's such a gift, and it's so, what feels tangible, so real, and then you wake up. So then that's where the bitterness is the fact that you have to eventually.
That's lovely because it comes from the heart, doesn't it?
Yeah,
you know, absolutely. It really does, and it pains you when you wake up and you realize, oh, it was just a dream. But then, what is just a dream? They've never actually proven what dreaming is. Like, they know it's the brain, they know that it's processing, but what, how, when? It's just so interesting. It really is. But it's nice you have those dreams, John. You know.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I cherish it.
You wake up with that sense, you know, what was that about? You know, and it's just very, very vivid and, you know, very, very real. And you do believe it's actually happened.
Even nightmares. I mean, I'm sure we've all had horrific nightmares that we thought were real. And, you know, it's just crazy how it affects your every bone in your body when you have those kind of experiences and those dreams.
Absolutely.
You again, my first wife, I hate talking about it, but however, you know, that's the beauty of divorce. And that's why God invented divorce. But however, I had a dream.
All right, Scott.
Different show. Well, you guys know me by now. I just say how it is, you know.
No filter.
I'm never coming back on the show.
No, you need to, because you know the cast, they play your trailer. I'm expecting something
like that. Yeah.
And Scott, we need to ask John when he actually has to go, because an hour, 24 minutes.
I was just about to say, I do have to,
Well,
unfortunately.
we were meant to run for an hour, weren't we?
I have to.
That's Kate's fault.
Kate, I gotta leave unexpectedly.
You're just gonna go, just like right.
No, I'll quickly tell you this, and then that's it. We'll wind up. I had this dream one night when I was with my first wife that I'd bought her roses. I got up in the morning and I says to her, "Where's the roses I bought you?" And she says, I said, "I did. I bought you roses." And it turned into a full blown I'm not talking about tables and that getting thrown, but it turned into an argument, you know. And she says, "When did you buy me them?" I said, "I don't know. I bought you roses." She says, "You ever thought you were dreaming?" And then the penny dropped. I dreamt I'd bought her roses, but was that real? When I woke up, I was convinced that I was looking for these flowers.
That's a good excuse. I'm joking.
An argument, you know.
That was good.
That was a dream, man. That was a dream, maybe. But well, I'll keep a hold of these for a couple of seconds after we come up. We'll wait in a hurry. And this lady was late, and now she got. You know.
Yeah.
Was I invited? Yeah, no, I'm joking.
So, John, where can people find you?
Yeah, I just any social media. So whether it be Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, just look up my name, John Ozuna. It's Ozuna. Drop me a message, drop me a line. I'm always welcome to chat with anybody. So I love interacting with anybody. I mean, it's great. But I want to thank you so much. So thank you so much for bringing me on. It was a lovely time together.
That was a nice chat.
Thank you so much, John.
So,
thank you
Scott,
also to Filippo and Liam as well, and everyone watching.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thank you for everybody that joined. Scott, stay handsome like you are, because you give Elvis Presley a run for his money. Kate, lovely as always. Lovely as always.
Thank you so much,
You guys,
John. I'm so
take care,
happy.
guys. Have a great one.
Talk to you soon, John. Kate, you hang on a wee second, dog, please. Where can we find you? Because you're doing a podcast show now, aren't you?
So I am promoting Things Network on Facebook. We have many, many different podcasts. Go and check them out. Saturdays at 2 p.m. Central Time US or 8 p.m. UK time, The Other Dimension. But yeah, I can link all of those later. No worries. But thank you so much, Scott, for having me. Really appreciate it.
You're very welcome. The Other Dimension, that is Ben and Louise. Louisa.
Yeah, Ben and Louisa. Great people, great show. Lots of things we talk about, occultology. We talk about OAPs. We talk about everything, anything and everything paranormal.
Excellent. I'll let you go then, Doll, and I'll wind up the show.
Thank you. Bye, everyone. Thanks, Scott.
I'll talk to you later on, all right, Doll?
Take care. Later.
Bye. So that's it for tonight, folks. Big thanks to John and Kate for coming in. We will be getting them back because it's nice intelligent chat with opposite views talking like that. Thanks very much, buddy. Yeah, we've all got different kind of views. We've seen them many a show. Nobody thinks the same way, because it'd be boring. Everybody's got their own individual insights or views on that in the paranormal, which we all try and respect. We might not agree with them all the time, but we do try and respect them, as we want our own views respected. But so a big thanks to John and Kate for coming in, and to everybody in the chat. We're back on Sunday night with Charlie Boy and Rigger. Just for that. Thanks very much, my friend. Much appreciated. Charlie and Rigger on with me on Sunday night. We don't have a topic. We're just going to come on for about an hour and a half and talk crap, basically, like we usually do. But I'm going to say, if you've not watched our Wallace Trail yet, then go to our YouTube channel and give it a watch. It seems to be doing. We're really, really happy with the results, the support we've had as well for just not only Society of William Wallace, but David Espinosa, Craig Arms for CRA Entertainment, the Wallace Monument, Scott Drone Clan and Drummer as well, and the staff of the Stirling Rugby Club, who all helped in the putting together episode 1. And everybody who shared it out for me, everybody posted it on the page, posted the link on the page. Very much appreciated, folks. Episode 2 is going to feature Glasgow. Wals's ties to Glasgow. And we start filming that on the 26th of May, and that should be just maybe beginning of June. So we're looking forward to that. But we're really happy with the way things went. We are going to be over at Loudon, hopefully some point before the weekend, weather permitting, for a wee investigation. And that's it. I'll say good night. And you will be seeing John and Kate again in the next month or two, whenever we can get the three back together. And enjoy the rest of your week, folks. So take care for now, and I'll talk to you all shortly. Bye. Bye.